Good evening. Where has my face gone? Let's get that sorted. Fairly professional from the start here. Let's see if we can get this sorted out. As we're kicking off for, there we are. Spain versus Austria this evening. Good to have you in for it. I hope you're keeping well. Thank you very much for joining me again. Let's make myself a normal colour as well. There we go. We're back to usual. It only took a few seconds. Who could have told I was in a rush eating dinner this evening, eh? Thank you very much, everyone, for being in. I hope you're looking forward to this one. It's Spain versus Austria in the last 32 of the World Cup, and Austria are straight on the attack from the kickoff. Left-hand side of the box with a chance to cross. Let's just see this out before we do our introductions, because it might be a goal first, although Spain have nicked it high with Yamal, and now they've got a break on 3-on-3. Ralph Ranieri is still sticking with the pressing plan, isn't he? Austria have left themselves exposed at the back. Edge of the box shot. Straight at the goalkeeper, dealt with in the end. Well, that was an eventful start, wasn't it? A bit more open than we thought. I'm not sure why the Austria player was appealing for a free kick when he just slipped on the ball and fell on his backside, but there you go. And thank you very much, everyone, for coming in. Good to have you here. Hope you're having a good evening, and cheers for the hydrate side. The voice is going already. Not a good sign if we end up with extra time tonight. Steve, Liam, Sai, good evening to all of you. Liam, no, I can't say I have, to be brutally honest with you. I'm a very mellow kind of man. What can I say? Cash, welcome in. Good to have you here. You must be looking forward to tomorrow. You've got a big game to go to, haven't you? And we will, just out of interest, whoever wins that game you're going to, I say tomorrow, it's later, isn't it? Portugal, Croatia. It's tomorrow our time, not for you. Whoever wins this game and then the next one, Portugal, Croatia, we will be watching the next round of that. Our two watch-alongs next week for the last 16. It will be Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, tonight for you, Cash. I hope you enjoy it. It's a bit of a... It's the worst night of the last 32s in the UK. It's the only one where there's two games overnight. So there's the midnight game for Portugal, Croatia for us, and then 4 a.m. is Switzerland, Algeria. But I'm working all day tomorrow, so I can catch up with them. Just means I'll be in hiding a little bit, but... Yeah, we are going to be live Monday at 8 p.m. to watch the winner of this one and the game that Cash is going to. And then we're going to be live on the following day, the Tuesday. Not decided whether I'm going to do the 5 or 9 p.m. yet, but we'll be live for one of them. But will England still be in the tournament, I guess, is the big question at that point. Yeah, Cash, I hope you're enjoying the experiences going live, because it's such a cool thing. I'm desperate to get tickets for something at the Euros in a couple of years. Just a brilliant experience normally, isn't it? So hopefully you've been enjoying it. And fingers crossed you'll get a good game, which is the main thing. It is a game that I think a lot of people are worried about in terms of entertainment. I think on paper, maybe alongside Colombia, Ghana looks like one of those that might be the most cautious at the moment of the last 32 matches. Maybe intriguing to see how it pans out. Charlie's over on YouTube. Good to have you in. Welcome in. Thank you very much for popping along. A reminder, we are doing the simulcast on YouTube Shorts at the minute if you want to get involved. Third kit for Hearts release tomorrow, Jambo. Hope it's a good one for you. Luton's, of course, are a long way behind. I did have my afternoon ruined by the Stevenage Luton game being moved to Thursday night for TV, because I could literally just jump on the train from Leeds, go and do the away day and come back, but... Not at that time of night, I can't, unfortunately. I mean, I probably could, but it wouldn't be pleasant. And probably not worth the day off work as well. It's great for football, soccer in this country. It's not exactly our top sport. No, I think that's the thing. It's almost been like two different World Cups in one, hasn't it? Because you've had... Obviously, Mexico is just football fanatic. The Aztec has been nuts. And we're going to probably find that out on Monday morning. And then you've got... The other two, sort of Canada and the US, maybe to a lesser extent in Canada, but where the atmosphere's been still fanatic, but it's been different. Where it's not the primary sport and it's more of an event than it is a football fanatic sort of situation. It's been interesting on that front. And almost been nice to have the balance. Spain with a corner kick in from the left, doesn't beat the first man. Calm down after that first minute that was just chaos. And Austria, to be fair, still trying to break in numbers. They should be back for a yellow card here at some point. As Sabitza's trying to break away down the left. The advantage has been signalled. Let's see what happens down there. Charlie, hope you're enjoying it. You're supporting Spain today, are you? Any reason for the preference? I genuinely don't mind who gets through, but I think Austria will give them a better game than people are expecting. They were quite impressive in the Euros last time without maybe having that star quality. Jake, welcome into you. Good to have you here as always. Hope you're keeping well. Looks to be blue, Jumbo. I'm trying to think, is that your norm? You'd have purple, then you'd have white away kit. What would your third normally be? Just a random one each year. Limerick, welcome in. Save my stream streak from second yellow card from earlier. I'll be in. No problem at all. Good to have you here. Size on a stream streak. Good to have you in. All good, Jake. Lovely. Is anyone brave anyone in the UK, should I say, or Europe brave in the double header tonight? Because we know Steve is, and we know Cash is going to one of them. Liam Blue or Black. There you go. Stream schedule for next week. So as it stands, Jambo, we're going to be live on we're live tomorrow, obviously, for Australia Egypt at 7 p.m. So slightly earlier time tomorrow. Sunday morning we'll do our usual chat and roundup. Unfortunately, I would have done Canada v Morocco, but I'm not going to be back from Halifax in time. Then we're going to be live on Sunday morning for the usual chat. And then Monday and Tuesday, we're doing 8 p.m. and either 5 or 9. I haven't decided which Tuesday game, but Spain or Austria v Portugal or Croatia on Monday, and then one of the two games on Tuesday as well. And then we'll be live on Friday for one of the first quarterfinals, because I'm in Luton that weekend, but I'll do Friday night before I go. Blue or black, anything but green, I imagine, Steve. Yeah, that's a safe enough option, isn't it? Although you say that, other teams have done it before, didn't you? Southampton did a blue a couple of years ago. Ball into the box. Oh, he caught that so well, but it hit his own man. I thought his man might have been offside that it hit as well. He caught that so sweet. Black, blue and white, yeah. So anything but green, as Steve says, pretty much all good. Jake must have been pleased to see the Sunderland values rising as more and more Sunderland players scoring in the World Cup. It's an incredible stat, really, wasn't it? Just Real Madrid and PSG that are outdoing Sunderland. Shows just how good the recruitment was. No anniversary kit, Jambo. Well, thank you everyone coming in. Lovely to see so many of you here on YouTube as well. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. And I hope you're enjoying the game, more importantly. One on paper, as that one's headed in at the front post, out for another corner. It was one of those where it looks like a sort of home banker on paper in terms of how they're lined up. So it looks like a Spain banker, but it never works out that way, does it? As we saw with them against Cape Verde. Oh, well, that's almost certainly going to have some form of blue in it then. Timmy Ender is off to Rennes in France for 25 million. We signed him for 600 grand. It's incredible, isn't it? And that's the thing, Jake. You've only got to have really... And I sort of mention this when people get frustrated about the odd signings at their club when they go with these models. Obviously, Jambo and Hearts have had a couple where it hasn't worked out recently as well. But you only need, in your case, a Mienda, in their case, a Braga. You only need one of them to mean you can gamble on 7 or 8 more players. And as long as one works every time, it funds your whole transfer window each time. I know for Sunderland, you probably need 2 at your level to work out. But yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I got a bit unlucky with the TV fixtures that have been announced today because I'm trying to do as many of the 92 as possible, obviously. So my plan is that the week before the season starts is the Carabao Cup first round. And I'm going to take advantage of it being at a weekend and go and tick off Fleetwood. They're playing Chesterfield. Day by the beach as well. It's not all bad, is it? Then first week of the season, I'm going away to Reading with Luton for my sins. If the first train at 6 o'clock doesn't come, though, I am in trouble. The week after, I'm going to the first Luton home game, which has annoyingly been moved to 12:30 as well. Then one of the 2 weeks after, I'll try and tick off another ground. I'll try and get a Guiseley game and probably a National League game in as well. Because I'd like to do particularly with Bournemouth's away games at sort of Halifax and Harrogate, I'd like to get a couple of them in. And then in the September international break, I'm going down for the game before. I'm on the South Coast during the first week, so I'll try and get a non-league game in. And then we're trying to tick off Swindon, if that doesn't get done, for the international breaks in the 26th of September. So in theory, I could have done 3 or 4 more by the end of September. I was desperately hoping that West Ham Charlton was going to get moved to Friday night or Sunday on the second weekend of the season, so I could have gone either side of the Luton game, but not to be, I'm afraid. Exactly, Jumbo. And if the ones you don't work out, you make your money back or a slight profit, you can't complain, can you? And equally, that Jumbo, unfortunately for you, most of them aren't manager signings. It's just timing, isn't it? Jake hardly kicked a ball for you last season. You're mailed down nice and easy there by the looks of it. Referee doesn't buy it. They've been quite soft on field, haven't they? They've let a lot go. But yeah, Liam, always good to get some lower league and non-league games in. I'm going to try and tick off a couple of other non-league grounds this year. Try and get to Farsley Celtic now they're back up and running too. Strange old places, Fleetwood. Yeah, so both Reading and Fleetwood will be trains for me, Jake. Train's my only option, bar the local grounds. The train to Reading's extortionate, and there's only one that gets to the game before kick-off. And obviously it doesn't help, it's an hour from Reading train station. Fleetwood's quite an easy journey. It's just up to Blackpool and then the tram, isn't it? Because it's not got a train station itself. Yeah, Liam, all of the lower leagues are sort of mid-July normally. Guiseley's mid-July. Obviously, the National League's not out till next Friday up here, so or down here even. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting start to the season, but it's the one thing that I do kind of feel lost with in the summer is I don't go to as many new places or see as many new things because of the football not being on. But the local cricket club tour and the World Cup's keeping us going. Has anyone got any days planned, any games planned? Obviously, Jake, you've got Sunderland, but you're waiting for Europe, I guess, obviously, with your timing as well, haven't you? You've got to basically write off the first month of the season. Yeah, it would make sense, Jake. But I think Leeds to Blackpool's pretty quick and direct, so we'll go either way. Oh, I wouldn't be rushing. I doubt we'll go again, Jake, but I just thought we'll go and sit in a beach cafe for a couple of hours or on the beach or walk the promenades and then go to the football and going, but we'll see. My only previous trip to Blackpool was for Blackpool Luton in December 2021, the first year after COVID, and it is still without doubt the worst weather I've ever experienced in my life. I've never seen anything like it. But it was the same weekend I went to tick off Salford in the FA Cup and then Everton Arsenal with Tom in the away end when Everton beat Arsenal, and it was probably the closest Arteta got to the sack during that season. It was quite the experience. Bonnie Rig Edinburgh City on Saturday. Yeah, I'm supposed to be going to Halifax Sheffield United, but there's quite a lot of boycotts from fans to owner at the moment because it's a bit of a dodgy dealer doing cash only on the door. They're charging 15 quid, which is very interesting. Could have went to a game tonight, but it was the ground I was at in Tuesday. Yeah, I try not to do more than one at each ground in pre-season. I'm going down to Hitchin v Luton next week, which will be good. Guiseley have got Barnsley at home the last week of pre-season. So I might have a look at that one as well. Spain trying to play midfield, and Austria nicking it high up the pitch quite a few times, but the game's not quite come to life after that first minute. It's just quietened down a little since then. Welcome in, Charlie. Good to have you here. I hope you're enjoying the game. It was a very quick start, followed by a quieter 5 minutes or so. Spain player blocked off there. He's given a free kick, but it's not quite as much of a serious incident as the meal that was made of it would suggest. Danny Murphy on his cat again. Brilliant. To be honest, Jake, I know a few people get upset about him. He doesn't offend me anywhere near as much as a Keown or a Dixon or whatever, because he doesn't sound devastated to be at the football. But I do think he's a better studio pundit than he is a commentator. Well, Liam, as I've reminded you many times in this tournament, the bookie always wins. No, I don't mind Murphy. I actually think he's quite a decent pundit in the studio. But it's the same, we've mentioned it before, haven't we, where everyone is sort of required to be this jack of all trades now. And with the greatest of respects for people like Shearer and Murphy and that, their forte, and Lee Dixon, to be fair, going back to the ITV days, their forte is not co-commentary. I don't know why we're not allowed to have specialist co-commentators anymore. It's only really Ali McCoy that's left of that, isn't it? Spain are struggling a little bit in wide areas earlier on. It's the one area where it looks like teams could have joy, and they did struggle with it in the last World Cup against Japan. Obviously, they didn't get tested at all really in the Euros. Rob, good evening to you. How are things? I was having a cheeky look as well. The second week of September, Grimsby are at home with a 12:30. I was going to see if we could get like a cheap caravan or something for the weekend and go to that. Again, not the greatest place in the world, despite being a seaside town. A few are a little bit run down, but normally they've got like a posh village next to them, whereas those two, Fleetwood and Grimsby, not so much. 92% in the Discord went for a Spain win tonight. Just the one vote for Austria. Who was it? The poll's closed. I can't find out. Let me know if you were the one vote for Austria. Grimsby has fish. What more could you want? I mean, Amy will like fish and chips. I'm not a massive fish and chips fan. To be fair, when we went last time, even the best rated one, which we looked out, wasn't great. Into the front post. Oh, flick past. And a positive start from Zabitzer on that left, doesn't it? Just doesn't quite get high enough. Felt like he might have been able to get something on that if he threw himself at it. I went Austria for a laugh. There you go, Rob. I don't know if it is a laugh. Obviously, we've had a few where only one's gone for the winner in the end. Liam did it with Paraguay. There have been surprises in this tournament. There's no denying that. Spain breaking forward. Definitely the dominant force in central areas. It's just whether they get hit on the counter, really. I must admit, I'm quite looking forward to Australia-Egypt tomorrow. I think that'll be a really interesting game. Two teams that will probably see it as an opportunity. Albeit that opportunity is then, is it right to come up against Argentina? I think I might have got that wrong. I look at the tournament bracket every day and then completely forget about it by the time we go. The biggest of the lot was Belgium turning that game around last night. Oh, I know. Obviously, there's been drama with Senegal today with the a couple of the players saying we're not going to play under that manager. I don't know why. The manager got his tactical game plan spot on. And in 5 minutes of madness defensively, forget whether it was a penalty or not, they put themselves in a position. The challenge gave the referee a choice, which is what we've so often said in this tournament. The behaviour after that was silly. And then extra time, they were poor, but they were coasting. The manager had absolutely nailed the game plan. And it was very odd. I don't think you can say the biggest surprise was England's comeback. I think we can agree they were poor. And I think we can probably agree they should have been 2-0 down. Because that, by the way, that chance Johan Wissa missed is absolutely atrocious. I can't think of an easier chance that's been missed in this tournament. But England still had plenty of chances, even though they were poor defensively and they looked like they were going to concede again. It wasn't exactly a crying shock when they scored, was it? Can we stop with they should have been 2-0 down? Oh, absolutely, Jake. Absolutely. But what I'm saying is they missed a huge opportunity. And at that point, we were 1-0 down. It could have been 2-0. But the second half was certainly the last half an hour was one-way traffic. And it was always coming at that point. But my God, when we play against a half decent attack or a committed attack, yes, we'll probably get more chances at the other end and then it becomes about taking them. But defensively, my God. I did see a clip of the overlap yesterday where they, or this morning, whenever it was, where they said they thought Spence did well. And I mean, I've watched the extended highlights of the game back and they didn't think he'd got beaten all game. I watched 3 just in the 8-minute highlight package. I know he wasn't best protected by his winger or centre halves, but I still feel that's going to end up being a costly decision. It goes back to those things that sort of come up as media fallacies, doesn't it? Because the problem I have with Spence, like I go back to it a few years ago, when he was at Forest with Brennan Johnson on that right-hand side, they always talked about what a threat though that duo was going forward, and you had to stop them in a championship. But then defensively, they were always really suspect. And because a few people have said it in the media, suddenly there's become this thing that Jed Spence is a brilliant one-on-one defender. He's played for the team that finished 4th bottom in the Premier League 2 seasons in a row. And the season before conceded absolutely bucket loads. He's not a brilliant one-on-one defender. And again, because it gets said in the media that Trent can't defend one-on-one, this sort of seems to get stuck in people's heads. Whereas statistically, and believe me, I was having a look today, there's not much in it. And I sure as hell know which one gives you more going forward, but there you go. Senegal missed a pretty big open goal as well. Yeah, some of the chances, but it was almost like they felt the game was over. It felt like one of them FM games, Rob, where you're 2-0 up, and then no matter what you do in the last 10 minutes, you just can't stop. Dudes, welcome in. Spain are an excellent side. We saw in the Euros where they sort of coasted through the whole way, and maybe this tournament's not been like that, but certainly they're a strong side. The question has become, compared to that tournament, though, where they had a fully fit Yamal and Williams out wide, is can they break down teams as quickly when they're sitting deep? And I guess as the game goes on, they've normally worn teams down. But we saw with Cape Verde, there's enough of a warning. I would expect Spain to come through this, but I don't think it'll be as easy as some say, as that pass is just over here. And the next time the ball goes out, we'll have the hydration break. But yeah, that's all I'm saying, Jake. Wissa, any striker would be devastated to miss that. I mean, with all respect, we should not be bringing a fellow who can't even get into the side who came 17th both seasons. Exactly. He was only playing the first season because the doggy wasn't fit. And all the other defenders. But, yeah, I've got a horrible feeling that by the end of next week, we'll be saying that's what Tuchel's going to be remembered for, is bring in Spence instead of 3 or 4 other fullbacks. I mean, Shaw played every game this season for a team that finished 3rd in the Premier League and has got major tournament experience. You've got, obviously, Trent on the right has been playing for Real Madrid, and prior to that, Liverpool in a title-winning team the year before. And then you've got Lewis Hall, who, by all accounts, had a fairly decent season. And obviously, if Livramento had stayed fit, he probably would have been ahead of Spence in the pecking order. But I do feel it weird that we've got to this situation. And you're putting Declan Rice out to right back to give you what Trent would have anyway. And the biggest thing that Trent gives you that is undervalued in this team, and maybe it was undervalued before because Kyle Walker was there and he was probably in the same boat, but something that Reece James doesn't and something that Livramento doesn't, is he's there. He's available most weeks. I know he's had a couple of knocks this season, but generally he doesn't have many injuries. He plays 30, 40, 50 games a season. And being available is always the most underrated attribute in a player. It's the thing that so many, when they're doing the data analysis for signings, they ignore it. Particularly my club, Luton Town, as you may have noticed. Be interesting what we do at right back for Mexico and beyond. The thing is, Stones looks so off the pace against Croatia. Can you start him against maybe with Jimenez up front you can, and put Konza to right back? Is Reece James going to be fit? If so, do you risk him? Because there's going to be harder. If I know Mexico's a tough test and I'm not sure we get through it, but if you're saying we are going to get through that, then the tests only get tougher, because the next game you're playing against Vinicius Jr. out there. And if you want your first choice right back fit, it's for that game, isn't it? Dudes, I think, to be honest, I know Argentina are still a talking point. You can't really rule them out. But for me, whoever from Spain and France come through that half of the draw win it. It's hard to look past France at the minute, the way they're playing. You're Scottish. There's plenty of Scottish in here, don't you worry. But yeah, I don't think I can look beyond those two. But I still think it'll be France out of the two from what we've seen so far. Yeah, Jake, for this game, I probably would. I would agree. Would have been a perfect game to bring Maguire in. Again, I think that's the thing, isn't it, Jake? The question marks are going to be, why did you pick this defence? Ultimately, isn't it? I tell you what, as we've had no goals so far, and we're in a hydration break and we've not had much, should we do a new quick poll of who's going to win? See if anyone's changed their mind after watching the first 25 minutes. So who's going through? There you go. Spain or Austria. See if we're still at 92%. The Mexican left winger is their best player when I've watched him. Yeah, he's had a couple of great games. And you do have to bear in mind, I was so disappointed with Ecuador. I thought it was going to be a blockbuster game. And whether they couldn't handle the atmosphere, the situation, the way they celebrated getting through the group stage, maybe that was their Mount Everest for this tournament, if you like. But I was so disappointed by their performance because they'd been really great to watch in the group stage. But yeah, other than that, the group they were in, you can't really judge them on because they haven't been tested massively. The game they won comfortably was South Africa on that opening night, who were just so poor that game and then did really well to bounce back, in fairness. South Korea were a shadow of themselves, as has been talked about a lot. And the Czech Republic got 1 point in that group with those guys. If they do get through on Monday morning, they'll get destroyed once they lose the advantage of altitude. I'd possibly agree with you there, Jake. But I'm very fearful of them on Monday morning with home advantage. I have to admit that. I mean, if they get through that, who do they play? They play either Brazil or Norway. Maybe not so much, because their energy against Brazil could be interesting. The Kid Mora is the guy to watch for Mexico. I just think the way we defend, or the way we have defended, any form of width is a problem for us. Because Nico O'Reilly, for the many attributes he has cutting into midfield and working himself forward down the line, he's not a good one-on-one defender yet. Oh, what a lovely turn. Brilliant tackle at the end as well. Is it Olmo in there with a turn? It was stunning. Brilliant defensive work, though. They're not playing the best tonight, no, dude, you're right, but that's all it takes is moments like that. We said it for an hour against Senegal for France when we were watching that first game. Our France looked really poor tonight, and then 20 minutes, they're sensational and it's game over. That's all it takes for some of these teams. And even to an extent, you saw it with England yesterday. Kane turns up for 15 minutes, and there you go. Ball into the box, punch down and in on a rebound, but the referee has given a foul on the goalkeeper, has he? No. Yes? Yes, he has. Kukurea doing his usual and arguing with anyone and everyone. It was a good finish, to be fair to him. He waited till the ball went in the net, which is sensible. So at least he's got a cop out. Oh, there's nothing in that. There's absolutely no contact there. No, there's not a foul anywhere. I can't see how this doesn't count. Nothing's happened. I mean, surely VAR has to overrule this because I can't even see what the foul is. There's no touch on the goalkeeper. There's no attempt anywhere. I mean, fair play to the referee that he waited till the ball went in. We've carried on. What on earth is that disallowed for? I can't even work out what instant they're looking at. Very strange. Well, Spain, you have to say, have been unfortunate there. Suban, welcome in. Marie, welcome in. Good to have you both here. I hope you're keeping well. I think Spain will win, but I don't think it'll be as convincing as people thought. Though they have just been very unfortunate there in my book because the goal kick, there's no foul there. I don't understand what that's been given for. The keeper jumps over a guy standing in front of him. The goalkeeper was pulling the Spain player's shirt as well beforehand. Oh, Liam, come on. We don't have to do that. It's a mistake. That's all it is. But it's a strange decision that I'm amazed they did last night. Yeah, they don't like getting involved. And obviously, dudes mentioned it there. No pen Belgium yesterday. Look, I personally, I can understand why it was a penalty. However, given what we've seen at this World Cup, I'm very surprised the on-field decision was overruled. Because VAR, as we say, like it or lump it, have not got involved a lot in this World Cup. And generally, that's been a good thing. The game's flowed more quickly. We've all known where we stood. It's been fairly consistent. But I'm quite surprised they got involved yesterday. And more surprised they didn't get involved there because I literally cannot see any foul whatsoever. Yeah, Subban, it's been a weird one. We mentioned it a bit earlier on. Spain, obviously, because they've coasted through Euro 2024, I think everyone thought the same was going to happen. Obviously, there's the mitigating circumstance, which is that in that tournament, they relied heavily on Williams and Yamal being fully fit and firing, and both of those started the tournament unfit. Yamal's obviously back in the team now, Williams on the bench. They never really relied on goals centrally. And without that dominance in the wide area, though, Yamal's having a go now. It's a brilliant save by the keeper. The hydration break is working again. But they've been a little bit more methodical in the build-up because they've not had that outball in the wide areas. So it's been a little bit slower, a little bit easier to defend against narrowly. As that ball comes in, oh, it's another brilliant save. They've turned the screw the last 10 minutes, though. And that's another very good save from the Austria keeper. 2 in a minute. So, yeah, I think it's fair to say they've not been at their best yet, but I wouldn't rule them out. Exactly that. So, you've not got them fully fit. They're not going to be fit till the very end. And weirdly with Spain, because they've sort of changed their approach with those two, they've not got natural replacements for them. And obviously you haven't got number 9 to change to that plan. Austria keeper drops it again. Second attempt, he gets it. Yeah, very surprised that goal was ruled out. The save there, though, is brilliant. Because it comes through a lot of bodies. Gets a strong hand to palm it wide. Ah, dude, you're very kind. Who do you think is going to win the World Cup? I would probably say France on current viewing. It's hard to look past them. There's obviously the threat of Argentina still. This Spain side, if they reach top form, will be hard to beat, though. Yamal's offside there. But, yeah, France looks so far clear at the time. Your TV's late. That's a shame. It's the NBA ref scandal on Netflix last night. I don't know what it is since I've started aging a bit. I don't watch the documentaries at all now. I used to watch some of the funny football ones or the interesting ones like the Chester American owner, the Barry Fry ones, the old ones like that, but just not getting into it now. Spain wins. I choose a random number. We've got 4 and we've got Spain and Saudi. Interesting. The thing is, if it all goes as people are expecting, it will be a Spain v France semi-final, won't it? Which is going to be brilliant for the neutrals, but very difficult for both of those. But then equally, Spain could end up with Portugal on Monday evening in the watch-along, and that could be a laugh as well. Certainly been an interesting game, though. I might not be laughing if the Mexico game's gone badly overnight the night before. Ah, Saban, that's cool. I was quite lucky in the school years is that we had the Japan Korea World Cup when I was in school in 2002. So we used to get to watch the morning games in the assembly hall. It was great times. There's an all or nothing coming with Manchester United this summer, isn't there? Yeah, they're the club for this season, I think. Or was it they were last season? There's a new one this year. I can't remember. Oh, they're a very good team, Spain. But they're not quite the same without Williams and Yamal in fully fit. Although Yamal on the right is starting to look a bit sharper this game. Lovely little nutmeg, but just too heavy with the touch. And Austria, since the hydration break, have sort of got pushed back into their own defensive third. The breakaways are stopping before they get past the halfway line. Yeah, Waterford, I understand that, but the Germany one by the letter of the law was a foul because there was contact by the... Whether I like it, I don't think it should be a foul, but by the letter of the law, it is a foul because there was contact on the goalkeeper that from a player who wasn't showing any intent to play the ball. There wasn't any contact. There was no foul anywhere. So I don't understand it. It's an interesting question, Saban. So that 2002 is the first one I remember as the ball's across the box. Oh, what a finish. We'll take a break from that question a second because Spain have just gone ahead. And you've got to say, it's been coming the last 10 minutes, hasn't it? All across the box. Mikel's in there with a comfortable finish. It wasn't in the corner, but it didn't need to be. He kept it down, which was crucial. Aiden, welcome in. Good timing. We'll wait for VAR before we update the score because you never know. It's a good pass out to the left-hand side. That one's definitely on. All across is fine. Mikel, it's a really good finish. Alaba went to ground really early there, which was a surprise. But that goal is going to count. It is Spain 1, Austria 0. Now, at what point do Austria come out to play? And will they get picked off? Hayden's getting excited for the club season now. I suppose you've got to if you're Scottish, haven't you? So yeah, favourite World Cup sub-an. My first one was 2002 that I remember. Then there were a few of England not being great. I tell you the two that I'd pick out of just off the top of my head are 2014 in Brazil because the kickoff times were great. It was 5, 8 and 11 o'clock most days. And I just sat up and watched them playing Football Manager. It was when I was in the summer between sort of college, apprenticeship and full-time work. So I had time spare. I could just sit and watch all the games. I could enjoy it, get takeaways when I want, go running when I want, and I didn't have to worry about it. So that was one that was always great. In terms of the quality of the football, the last World Cup was the best because it was mid-season. And as a result, it was a higher quality of football. As Yamal cuts in, it's saved. Aiden, it's a bit of a weird one. Obviously, England were awful in that tournament, but I don't think there was any expectation going into it, so it didn't really worry us. And obviously, there's you again proving that you're never in with your hate watchers. But no, on a genuine note, when England go out early, it's really weird because obviously it is frustrating. It would be a dream to watch them go all the way and win it. However, I do feel I enjoy the neutral games more once they're out. So like, there were a lot of people that couldn't watch any of Euro 2008 when England didn't make it, whereas I really enjoyed the tournament. Yeah, Austria are going to... Austria are going to need to improve. I'm going a day early there. We will be back tomorrow at the earlier time of 7. Australia-Egypt, the game there. But yeah, Austria are going to have to try and find the counter-attacks they were producing in the first 5 or 10 minutes. Or to the edge of the box again. Mikel turns inside out. The place finish doesn't quite come off. You was 8 back then. Didn't stop you hating England, eh? Just shows that it's taught young up there, doesn't it? 2006 was your favourite, Liam? Yeah, it was, to be honest, I remember 2006 being good. And obviously you had the massive final with Zidane's headbutt and that. But the final was really poor. I think that's maybe what separates the last World Cup as well, is the final was just unbelievable. Which you don't often get. The problem with 2006 and 2010 is because it was like school summer and college summer, I missed loads of games. So it's not like ones where I got to fully invest in the whole tournament. I do remember randomly in college watching Spain v Switzerland at the start of the 2010 World Cup, where Spain lost and then went and won it. But yeah, I missed too many games in those two to really sink my teeth into them. Yeah, we got last time. Obviously, England got to the quarterfinals, gave France a brilliant game, and it was only because Harry Kane missed the penalty that we didn't go to extra time. But it was ironically the France defeat is the best we ever played under Gareth Southgate, which kind of defeats everyone's object about we want to play good football. Argentina 78 was my first Waterford. A little bit before my time, I'm afraid, despite the grey hair. Yes, Subban, we're watching Australia Egypt tomorrow at 7 p.m. Or 7 p.m. UK time, sorry. So an hour earlier than this one. But yes, I'm looking forward to that game. Good opportunity for both teams. 0-2 was your favourite, Jake? Yeah. I mean, again, I loved it for the fact that I've got the vivid memories of watching it in assemblies and things. But again, we would have missed a lot of the neutral games because of school and stuff. Loved 78, Steve. Lovely. Oh, you're UK as well. There you go. You're 10 dudes. You're going to find it very hard in the next sort of 10 or 15 years, aren't you? Because all you've seen is Scotland's success making tournaments every time. '78 was your dad's favourite. There's a lot of people that talk about '78, sort of the older generation of football fans. Sorry, Steve. Who, in your opinion's the best player? Now, at the moment, when on form, probably Mbappe. Messi has been the best player for a generation without doubt. I mean, there's an argument for Harry Kane this year. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, wasn't a World Cup year. I'm not Scotland, I'm England. Very far from Scotland. As here come Austria, rare breakaway for them. Left-hand side, chipped into the box. 2-on-1 here. Oh, it's a poor touch. He's knocked it back, and then Rodri's nicked in brilliantly. Oh, at this tournament, yeah, Elise's been the best player at this tournament. Well, they did a data thing, didn't they? That said he'd been the best player in the world for the last year or so. No, Scotland, no party. I think we're all enjoying the tournament just fine, Aiden. As we have for the last 25 years. It's been lovely having Scotland there. The Tartan Army have been brilliant. I say it the same, like when Ireland are at World Cups, always brilliant. You get the sea of green, Sweden, the sea of yellow. Obviously, the Icelands and the Norways who bring their unique celebrations and fan styles, but the Netherlands with the orange. But you don't get I don't think it's fair to say without any team there's no party. The World Cup, that's the best thing about it, is there's always a party. Euros, I'm just saying any tournament in general. I don't remember there being loads of delays in 08. Roberto Carlos of his free kick. Roberto Carlos and a free kick thing's funny because obviously he scored one of the most memorable free kicks ever, but his free kick record's actually really poor. Because he scored 2 free kicks in 10 years or something, but one of them was that one. I want to know what happened with the Rayan Cherki incident as well. I know it's been blown out of proportion as it always is, but be interesting to see if he thinks he should be starting ahead of Elise, Dembele or Mbappe. You want Morocco to do well? I think you'll be in luck because Morocco, I would expect to put Canada out in the next round, as well as they've done. Morocco look an excellent side, and it would have been criminal if they went out to the Netherlands because they were so strong. But obviously, then if they get through that, it could be Morocco v France in the last 8. As Austria breaking in on the right again, cut back just behind the striker. And the shot's blocked. It's just not quite the same quality in attack. They've had their opportunities to get in. And they're missing Menquisby won the Scotland national team summit. Jake, behave. Let's find a missing Menquiz. I tend to do club ones. I shot when German. The Turkey one didn't surprise me. We've been here the last 2 Euros doing watch-alongs where everyone said this is going to be Turkey's time, and they failed to live up to it every time. And everyone talks about how many shots they had, but most of them, they were just hitting and hoping from everywhere. Aiden, you've got to be in finals to bottle them, haven't you? Let's have a look. What one was in when every second game there was a thunderstorm and you saw a river? Was it 2012? Was it Poland, Ukraine? There was a lot of games that got stopped, I'm sure. I'm sure 2012 was the one where there were a few. They've got Arda Güler, but they've not got much else. That golden generation of young talent they talked about, most of them haven't ended up becoming superstars. No, Aiden, but at least it has come home at some point, eh? I will say on a serious note, I am delighted that Sweet Caroline has finally been replaced because, God, that was getting a bit tiresome. And a bank holiday for reaching the World Cup. Ah, dear. It never gets old, does it? What about Germany? They were really poor in that Paraguay game. Obviously, a lot of people talked about free kick thunders off the bar from 30 yards. Incredible effort. It's fallen back to Yamal. Great save. Awful defending for the rebound. Goalkeeper does brilliantly to save his team again. It's been a star of the show so far. Yeah, Germany were really poor against Paraguay. And I know a lot of people say maybe the goal could have counted or whatever, but they were so poor. They played so slowly. And to be fair, they're not a brilliant side anymore. They were a great side in 2014. They should have done better in 2018. But a lot of that star generation has gone. You're talking there about Lahm, Schweinsteiger, Klose, Muller. Like very, very different standard to what they've got now. You're going to watch tomorrow? Cheers, dudes. There's some good games over the next day or two. They do look interesting on paper. Spain players showing the gamesmanship. That should be offside from the long ball forwards. Spain mop up easily. No, we don't. Who said we want a bank holiday for Monday morning? The only thing people have complained about here is they wanted the pubs open so they could watch the game, which they've got. The Cape Verde keeper's brilliant. But that's the best thing about the World Cup. I always find the group stages and the early stages more interesting and more exciting because you get those sort of stories. Like the early rounds of the FA Cup. You get those sort of things where the Cape Verde goalkeeper, Curacao getting a point. Obviously, in the end, Cape Verde finished second in the group. You had Ecuador getting through for the first time in second. Norway, obviously, and their fans and the Thunder Row. Like, they're the best bits of the tournament. Normally, once you get to the quarters and the semis, the games start to deteriorate in quality. And that's maybe why the last World Cup was so strong, because you had so many good games near the end, too. Teddy, welcome in. Good to have you here. Lovely to see so many new faces amongst all the regulars tonight. We are live streaming predominantly on Twitch and also simulcasting on YouTube Shorts, so come and get involved either way. The FM streams are Twitch only at the minute, though. Right, the Missing Men quiz that was asked for. We're going to do a fairly recent one because I feel like the last two have been quite old. And we're going to go back to 2021. And as we were talking about thumpings and the halftime whistle's just gone, we're going to go, for the last time, there was a 9-0 victory in the Premier League. Manchester United 9, Southampton 0. Name the Manchester United 11 that won by 9. No cheating, you're only cheating yourself. Been on Twitter, I want the bank holiday. That's not what's happened at all, Aidan. I don't know what you've been reading. Thomas Tuchel said in his interview, he was asked about what you would say to parents ahead of Sunday night's game. And he said, let the kids stay up and watch their game at 1 o'clock Monday morning. It doesn't matter. There's plenty of time for school. That's where it's come from. CR, thank you for the YouTube sub. And yes, most of the responses on Twitter are bots. But no, it wasn't asking for a bank holiday. It was saying let the kids stay up and go into school a bit later, which is fine. What do you do for work in real life? I work in a GP surgery doing data and audit management. I used to be a general manager, but then not managing people is a lovely joy to have when you get the choice later in your life. Jake, welcome in. Fred is correct. Central midfield in that team. Rashford Aiden is correct. McTominay is correct. Of course, it was McFred in midfield. And there's your third, Bruno Fernandes. So I'd say that's probably the obvious four in that attacking area. Now we'll wait and see when Captain Google comes along, because there's a couple of them that are quite difficult. Jake, one year out, Jake. 1 year, 2021, it was the season. I think 1920, would that have been Leicester's 9-0 against Southampton? Because they lost a couple in 2 years, didn't they? Maguire and Lindelof. Jake, spot on, the two centre-halves. Excellent work. Rob's in with the left-back, Luke Shaw. We're getting there quickly this time. Suban, I've taken a picture and shown it on the Discord before. I don't have the fancy tools to do it here. But basically, I have a dream set up now I've moved. I've got a little wall-mounted TV there showing the football. I've got my main PC monitor here. And then I've got a little old square NHS second one here, which is used for dual working when I'm doing the NHS work. And then also to have the chat on when I'm playing Football Manager for streams and things. De Gea and Wan-Bissaka, absolutely. Darmian was an unused sub, Jake, on the bench. So what have we got left? That might be it. Actually, there's two left. Too late for Valencia, I'm guessing it is. So we've had Wan-Bissaka on the right back area. You're not allowed Discord. I'd argue Discord is milder than a lot of the other social media apps. Too young. Are there rules on Discord? I didn't know. Not Lukaku. Not Lukaku, no. Different older generation striker. Welcome in, Harvey. Just too late for Ibrahimovic. He was a couple of years earlier with Mourinho. Not Dan James. I will get the whole bench up for that game. I did have a glance at it, but... Not Pogba. Not Falcao. So Dan James came on as a sub. I think that's the only one that's been named. Oh, and Darmian unused. Martial as a sub. I should have done name the Southampton 11. That would have been funnier. Not in a million years is that happening. Just naming United players. You get only YouTube. To be fair, dudes, it's the best one to have. In terms of all round what you would get out of it. If I stay in year 6, oh, nice. Is that like an inset preparation day? Because you wouldn't start properly till September, would you? Donny van der Beek as a used sub. I'm sorry. He came on off the bench. Stumped on the old striker. I'll give you a clue. Not European. Not European nor playing in Europe anymore. It'll be interesting to see what happens on a serious note with YouTube, with the talked about the under-16 social media ban and how that'll fall, because there's so much educational content and general TV viewing on YouTube. I'm not sure if that'll fall into it. Be interesting. Then in 6 days, blimey. The age range in the chat is incredible. Always something that makes me laugh. Not Odion Igalo. There he is. Rob's come to the rescue. Edinson Cavani. is the centre forward. And the only other player left currently plays in France and is thou who cannot be named or couldn't be named for a long time. Yes, the last person is, well, we can't say that because legally it's still allegedly only, isn't it? But yes, he is the last player. You got all of the 3 subs that came on in James, Van der Beek and Martial. The other unused subs, just to give you some fun names, Dean Henderson, Eric Bailly, Alex Telles, I'd completely forgotten about him. Brandon Williams, not sure if he's still got a club yet. Paul Pogba, who was mentioned, and Nemanja Matic, the other one who didn't come on. Southampton centre forwards those days, Adams and Ings. There you go. Igalo, I think, was a year before. Would it have been the COVID year or maybe the year after? Think before. Did I play football when I was younger? Yes. I played Sunday League football, not top level football. I used to play in goal for the school team and then central defence on Sunday mornings. I was okay. I was a solid player, but nothing more than that. Gun in goal. I think it was Alex McCarthy. Just double check. I just closed the page. Let me have a look. Yeah, Alex McCarthy in goal. Fraser Forster the sub. Bit early for Gun. Let's catch up with the rest. Yoni Man, welcome in. Yeah, Austria are going to need a few changes. There's going to be a point at sort of 60, 70 minutes where they have to make a change to go aggressive and risk conceding more goals. They've done it a couple of times in this game, but look, they're not out of it. While it's only 1, there's still a chance. Harvey, do we think the Cucurella goal should have stood? Well, I'm glad you're here to answer it. Because Harvey, I have no idea. We couldn't work out what the foul was for. And obviously I've not got the audio on, so I can't hear what it's for. Or what's been said. But yeah, I couldn't work out what the foul was for, to be honest. Yeah, sub, and that's generally what we go for here, is we try to have it like we're just having a watch along with mates or whatever with the football and playing a bit of FM sometimes. We don't really go mad. We're not trying to be the biggest streamer on the internet. They're giving Spain too much respect. I don't know. I think after the hydration break, they struggled for 15 minutes. But they had a couple of chances at the end of that first half. But yeah, they did sit too deep for a while. They're giving Spain too much respect. Arguably. I think, yes, the difference is the player was challenging for the ball. I don't know what it was he was before he jumped for it. Well, that was the point, Harvey. The only thing I could see was the goalkeeper pulling his shirt when he went to jump. I couldn't actually see any contact on the keeper or any foul on anyone. I'm genuinely just surprised by that. What was your view, Harvey, on last night as well? Just out of curiosity. Belgium, Senegal. They're going to get knocked out, but you never know. This World Cup's been crazy and a surprise. It'll be an interesting end if it stays 1-0 for a while. Fast, welcome in. We have to wait and see, don't we? I've still enjoyed FM26. There's no point trying to say it was as good as FM24 because it's not as polished. I really love the match engine. I think that's a big upgrade. The user interface obviously needs work. There's a lot of little frustrations with it. FM26, as it's gone along, has got better too. A lot of the things have been ironed out. But I'd be surprised if FM27 wasn't a fairly big polish up. I still wouldn't be surprised if they're working in the background on having a skin alternative that's maybe halfway between the old and new. I think they might scrap the tile system and have the new look but without the tiles. That's my hope and my thought. But we'll wait and see. Hopefully it's good. Evening, Macca. Good to have you in. Never a pen for Belgium, never a pen for England. No one mentioned the England pen, Aidan. No one mentioned saying it was a pen. I don't know why you're suddenly obsessed with England again. But no, I don't think the England one was a penalty. I thought it was potentially a foul, and I thought the Belgian one was potentially a foul. I could understand a referee giving both of them, but I was surprised that either of them would have been considered to be overturned on reflection. And I think the Belgian one, that's what surprised me most. I would agree with that, Jake, on the opponents. No worries, Suban. Thank you very much for being in. Good to have you here. Really are obsessed with the English, aren't you, Aidan? Right, I've just realised it's nearly the end of half time. I need to go and top up the drink. We will be back in 3 minutes' time. For any of you who don't know how this works, go and grab yourself a drink, a snack. We're going to go and take a quick ad break so you don't get hit with them during the middle of the match. And we'll be back in 3 or 4 minutes for the start of the second half. I'll see you there. Don't go anywhere. Thank you very much for being here. We'll be back in 3. Fast, I'm a bit worried about that too. Let's hope on Monday morning we're all still celebrating, hey? But we'll see. Back in 3. And we're back. Thank you for sticking with us. I hear Harvey's a bit worried about the altitude England are going to be facing. Ah, brilliant. Thank you for sticking with us, everyone. It's been fun having the chat today. We've got officially the widest age range chat we've ever had in a channel, which is a nice one. And the same on the YouTube channel generally in the last month, viewer-wise. I don't know if that's just because we've tried some new games as well, but it's been interesting. It's been fun. Fast, I do agree with you on Mexico. I've said from the start of the tournament that I think round of 16 is when we were going to go out this one. Mexico away just looked tough. And I agree with Harvey, actually. The altitude, I don't think it's going to be a big problem. I genuinely think being away from home as such against a team that are that fanatic, they are the one of the 3 nations that are football fanatical. So I think it's going to be an interesting one. Dudes, I would say no, and please don't do that. Nothing silly. But yeah, it's been a fun tournament so far. I think that's the main thing. But Mexico for me have probably been one of the entertaining teams to watch. The way that they've sort of, I guess, in the last game dominated it so early on, and then been able to. I mean, the second half they were dawdling. Let's be honest, against Ecuador, and I know Ecuador were disappointing, but in the first half they were so dominant, so aggressive, and they put the game out of sight. And then in the second half they just managed it well, which is the difference between them and probably the other two hosts who have had to be on their game and at top form the whole time. I've been to the Azteca and lived in Mexico City for a month. Hardly noticed being there at altitude. Nowhere near as bad as a place like Quito. It's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously Tom, who's in here regularly and drags me running a couple of times a week, his brother's out in Mexico at the minute and had been to one of the games and said, sort of, obviously it's a fanatic. I'm more worried about the fanatical atmosphere and the fact that it is a football-loving nation, a good team, an aggressive team, a high-energy team at home, and that we're pretty poor defensively. That's my biggest worry. Maka, we need to talk about hydration breaks. Too many times it's benefited the bigger team. I would agree. If they need to have them, put all the bottles on the opposite side to avoid the managers coaching the team. It does seem, I will say, Maka, the one thing I found a bit weird about the hydration breaks is they've made all of these brilliant efforts, and I think generally very good law changes about sort of like the injuries and the goalkeepers going down and not being able to go over to the touchline so that they can't use it for a tactical advantage. And then they're giving teams a 3-minute tactical timeout in each half. Like, does nobody see the irony of that? I'll be honest with you, I've not minded the hydration breaks from a point of view of, as a fan watching at home, a chance to run for a wee to top up a drink or whatever, it's great. If you're in a stadium, I can imagine it's a nightmare, the same as VAR checks and whatever. So I can understand that. I've not minded it from a football point of view. And as you say, maybe it has made the games more interesting with the stats and that, but 3 minutes is too long. And it's just ironic to me, whatever your opinion on it, that they've put so many law changes in to stop players having tactical chats with the managers during the game. And then they've created a 3-minute tactical chat opportunity in each half. Very odd. Or chuck the sprinklers on for a minute. Yeah, brilliant. Dimitrov beats Menzik, great match. Yeah, I saw Arthur Ferry get through. The widest ever? What's that? What have I missed, Waterford? Widest? Did I say something widest? I'm confusing myself. I've forgotten what I said a minute ago now. Arthur Ferry through from Britain. Yeah, I saw him get to the third round. I'm not sure what you're on about, dudes, but I'm not worried about that. I'm just having a nice time enjoying watching the football. And hopefully everyone else is doing the same. I nearly got attacked by the sprinkler at Wrexham last night. Now that I would have liked to see video footage of. I saw the big thing, the deal they made about Arthur Ferry and, oh, he's earning 185 grand by getting to the third round. Like, anyone who's come through the LTA system is wealthy enough, trust me. The money's not going to be their objective. It's that they want to make it. So yeah, I wouldn't be worrying about that sort of stuff, but he's done really well. Obviously, I think I saw it was his 10th game on the senior tour, excluding challengers. And the fact that he's already made it to there is incredible. No worries. Thanks for popping in, dudes. Appreciate it. Good to see some new faces in. He's come through the US college system as well, which will require even more wealth. I think I saw that his dad was a millionaire or something. Not that it makes any difference, but we talked about the fact that the reason the UK doesn't have a thriving tennis scene is because, let's be honest, 80% of the nation are ruled out of it. New ground for you on Saturday, Macca. Lovely. Sterling playing pre-season away at Tranham. Brilliant. I was I was and still am as it stands due to go to Halifax v Sheffield United on Saturday, but they're trying to charge 15 quid for a friendly. See you later, dudes. Thank you for popping in. Have a good one. But yeah, they're charging 15 quid for a friendly. There's boycotts between the ownership because they're the only club I've seen in, well, any level of pro or semi-pro football in England that don't accept card payments and are doing this shady little cash only on the gate scheme. It's a very weird one. So I don't know. I was trying to look for an alternative, but couldn't find it. If England win, they'll be the first team in 60 years, I think, to beat Mexico there, if I remember the stats correctly. I thought they'd lost 2 in their last 80 or something. As here comes Spain, breaking 25 yards out. They nick the ball high. The finish is poor, though, straight down the middle. That is the difference, I feel, between them and France. Just that ruthless streak at the minute. What have we missed there? We have got... Oh, Harvey's with his favourite. The after-dinner trivia. Here it comes. We're still on science and nature, you'll be pleased to know. I do almost feel, and I know this is a bizarre statement and one that may come back to haunt me, I do feel the game on Monday morning for England will be harder than if they get through. That suggestion you have made has already been suggested. It happened in Qatar, but it wasn't it a smaller duration? Oh, but the hydration breaks in Qatar and that we see in the Premier League and other things in Europe now is only when it's a certain temperature, isn't it? Whereas this is every game across the board. I've got no problem with a hydration break when it's 30 degrees, but there was one the other night where it was 12 or 13. Might have been Mexico, Ecuador, actually. Oh, you said the chat tonight was the widest age range ever. Because you get analytics to show what your youngest and oldest are. And at the moment, today, there has been a 57-year age range in the chat. I won't name the older and younger because I don't know who they are. Above 32 degrees. Yeah. So like, I've been to a non-league finals day in England. I've been to Luton games where there's been a hydration break. I've no problem with that. But it should only be when it's needed. See, Mackie, you're not at either end of the scale there. Rather sadly, I'm creeping towards and past the middle stage now, aren't I? Corner kick for Spain as they look to get the second goal. It's another free header over the bar. Austria haven't quite come out yet. I'm waiting to see at what point they go for it. Right, let's have a catch up with science and nature as Harvey has requested the after dinner trivia. Jake's 27. Must be someone older than me unless you have a 6-year-old in. No, I don't think we can legally have anyone under the age of 7 in. But there's one in the... all I can say is there's one in the 9 to 12 age bracket and there's one in the... there's more than one in the over 65. So at some point, we've had that range in the chat. Science and nature, here we go. After dinner trivia for Harvey. Waxworms, often used by anglers as bait, have been identified as a possible solution to what pollution issue? A, plastics, B, metal, or C, food waste? So waxworms, often used by anglers as bait, have been identified as a potential solution to which pollution issue? Is it plastic, metals, or food waste? Very's dad is president of L'Oreal. Made his money in banking. There you go. Macca's going plastics. Plastics, I'd expect. Total guess. Well, food waste is an argument, isn't it, Harvey? Because there is a lot of talk about insects and bugs becoming the future, isn't there? I'll give it one more minute as it's a throw for Spain on the left. We'll see out this attack first. Thank you, everyone who stuck with us as well. Lovely to see so many of you about. I'm hoping tomorrow's game is going to be a really competitive and entertaining one. I've got a feeling, and I know that that's quite often cursed the matches, but I've got a feeling that Australia-Egypt is going to be two teams trying to take an opportunity. I'll have hopefully just recovered from catching up with the 2 overnight games. As Rodri picks the ball up 30 yards out. Lovely time to shoot. Deflects and just wide of the post for a corner. He's had a really good game tonight. Right, your answer. Waxworms, possible solution to which pollution issue even? The answer is A, plastics. With no further information, so I can't tell you why. Cheers, King, for the YouTube sub. Appreciate that. I'm just seeing how many science and natures we've got left now after that one. 3 away from reaching general knowledge. There you go. Spain on the left-hand side. Lose it from their own corner. The Austria breaks have been few and far between. There's no denying that. Harvey, you're repping Nomads under 18s tomorrow, so I'll miss the first half of the game. Do you know what your sort of schedule's going to be for the season yet? Are there, out of curiosity, Harvey, with it being a semi-pro league and obviously a lot of you having jobs, are there any problems with referees or any that have to drop out or change their schedule because every game's going to be Friday night next season pretty much? Because surely it's going to affect some from a work point of view. Welcome back, dudes. How does Twitch know it? My first World Cup was 78, so you have a good idea as to my age. They don't have exacts or anything, Waterford. They just give you like, so under 16s, it's a bit narrower, and then it's like 10-year age categories and then a 65 plus. It's the same on YouTube as well. I always found it weird that on my FM channel, despite being sort of like an old man style gamer in the way I play, that the audience is generally much younger than over on the football podcast. Thought the minimum age was 13. The minimum age is 13 to create an account prior to parent consent, but parents can set them up for under 13s, and they're sort of under a family tree with settings. So then if I'd mark this as explicit, then they wouldn't be able to be seen. So parents can create a sub-accounts for under 13s under their own one, basically. It's a weird old setup, isn't it? I'm still getting baffled by that bloody football director video I made about a month ago. It's still going bananas. I mean, it's finally started to calm down a bit, but even calm down a bit is still 500 or 600 views a day, which is unlike most of my videos. Might be the first ever one to reach 6 figures. As Spain get the ball into the box again, it's cleared away. Spain not the best attacking at the minute. No, they've been a little bit wasteful with their final ball, but then Austria have as well on the counter-attack. They've got a chance down the left here. If they can find a cross again, the final ball's just not quite there. There you go. Macca's obviously got a quicker internet connection, hasn't he? Harvey, we should be getting an email to ask how far you can travel on Friday. I still need to do 2 on-field games with VAR before I can get a Prem game. Being unavailable for a couple of pre-season weeks haven't helped me, but hopefully get it done soon. Nice. You haven't watched it, Steve. Well, that's very kind of you. I think you, to be fair, you support enough. And I appreciate like the new games and things isn't for everyone, but what I found really interesting about them, as much as enjoying some of them and finding a couple of games I've loved myself, like Football Academy Manager and Foosball Manager, which I was still playing today, it's interesting how many non-subscribers that gets pushed out to comparatively. Yeah, I don't know, Macca. I really don't know. I mentioned it in here to Jake on Tuesday. It's like normally by the summer months, my views, whatever, and ad revenue is well down, like under £100 a month total earnings. And that video on its own has earned more than everything else on the channel in the last sort of 3 months. I'm normally 5 seconds late anyway because I can't keep up with what's on the TV screen and the chat. Just looks at the views. Football. Yeah, but I think the other thing with Football Director, because it's a director game and like an ownership game, it sort of gets crossover into the financial realm as well, which means it's getting farmed out to a few more people. When you look at what people are coming from to watch it, it's a very weird one. I mean, it's more than double anything else on my channel's ever done, so I'm not going to complain. But a lot of the random games that we've played have been big viewed one. Football Academy Manager was similar. It's in the top 10. That Pro Soccer Manager game I tried, which you saw yourself, was a bit of an old FM ripoff. I mean, even that has got a lot. So yeah, it's been a bizarre old few months. I sort of stumbled into it, but one of the benefits of FM not being so great this year, I guess. Waterford, Harvey has been refereeing in the Welsh second tier and will be a Welsh Premier League official this year, where they've just implemented VAR this summer. The ref officer said at the conference that they can get us free entry to international and Prem games, so I'm hoping we get free CFTV. Nice. That is good. FC 26 was not good this year, and FM 26 not good this year. It wasn't a sad year for football games. Yeah, I mean, look, I can't complain about FM. It costs £40, give or take, just under, I think. And I've still got plenty of enjoyment out of it, but I appreciate that's because I've really enjoyed my saves, and there have still been a few frustrations with FM itself. But there have been a lot of other good independent games to come from it, and that's what we wanted to sort of shine a light on. And there's a lot more coming. I've got about 15 on the wish list to try. I'm very much looking to both the VAR and the referee simulator to see how those two go. See if I'm better than Harvey at his job. But yeah, Fast, I agree with you to an extent. FC I've not bought for years, really. I think the only one I've had since 2020 was the one where Luton were in the Premier League, just for the nostalgia of it. Premier Prem, just promoted this season as assistant referee for now. See how I go. So, Harvey, if you're doing interesting question, if you're doing assistant refereeing in the top tier, can you still then some weekends be refereeing in the second tier? Or like midweeks or cup games or whatever else? I mean, I'm guessing the option will be available given their not sure what you're on about, dudes. There you go. Yeah, given that there's such a shortage of referees, I think you'd be all right with that. I'll still do tier 2 middles, especially on Saturdays. So a tier 2 game's still going to be on Saturdays? If it's the same as the English style, then yeah. I suppose because you have people who do fourth officiating and then go and do a referee on another day, or assistants that then go in non-league. Yeah, a little bit odd. We're having a nice chat for most of the first half. I'm not quite sure what's gone on there. There we go. Let's get rid of all that. How bizarre. 40 minutes of fine chat and then that. There you go. Anyway, back to the usual stuff. Oh, Spain keeper's come late. Oh, he's been given a free kick there. I thought that. I mean, the Austria player's the one down injured. That's one word. Wait for the Infantino boos again. Chiellini there alongside Puyol. Tier 2 will still be the club preference. Presume more will stay Saturday as more games on Prem games on a Friday. Have a look. To be fair, I mean, he's tried to stop, but he has ended up running into him. Yeah, it's a sad one, Fast, isn't it? I still think there will be one or two, but at the top level, it's a lot less frequent. Oh, the goalkeeper's down injured, and the referee, it's a rare one where we're getting to see him in trouble for complaining that players are going over to the touchline. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because they're encouraged not to do it, but the referee can't actually take any serious action other than tell them to go away. Yeah, but I kind of agree with you that we're seeing, I don't know if it's that data-driven risk-averse footballers taken away flair players completely. I think it's the reliance on tactical systems, and if you don't play in our system, you're going to get dropped, which sort of leads to it, which is a bit odd and a bit sad. But yeah, data-driven football. I've always made this argument. The thing I hate the most, and Craig always sends it to me in the podcast chat to annoy me after a Luton game, is he sends me Liam Walsh's pass completion rate. And all a very high pass completion rate proves in central midfield is that you don't try and play a progressive pass too often. And that really frustrates me. Oh, Harvey. We've not had one Jambo dad joke yet, and here you go, setting us all up again. Asked a friend what he wants for his birthday, so he said March 1st. So I walked around the room and asked him again. Oh, dear. They're getting worse, aren't they? Yeah, there are a lot of coaches like that. And the biggest thing that I think, Fast, even take away the flair players, I think the biggest thing you've lost at times until quite recently, where it's starting to creep back in, is tactical versatility. There's so many managers that say, I play this way and that's it. And if I'm losing, I'm going to stick with it. I'm never going to bring on a second striker, or I'm never going to do anything aggressive, or put on two traditional wingers, or switch them to their natural footed sides. And I think you're seeing a lot of teams now where a manager can't adapt. And then those that play a bit more long ball football are seen as dinosaurs, when it's not. It's mixing it up. I mean, last season, Pep's City played more direct than almost anyone in the Premier League at times. Oh, Harvey's gone for the football jokes book just to polish off the awful dad jokes. Let's remember where we got to. I think we did them. So many managers who can literally only cope one formation and no changes, or their system falls. But no, I completely agree. And being adaptable as a manager isn't a bad thing. As the ball goes down the left into the box. Oh, it's a brilliant finish. A really well-worked goal, that from Spain. Pedro Porro's the man arriving at the back post. Well-worked goal. Spain go 2 up. Unless the left side was offside, there's nothing wrong with that. That alone means the Congo Prem needs to rethink. Can't be having officials with those sorts of jokes in the top tier, can you? Just wait and see if there's any reason for this to be ruled out before we update the score, and then I'll find you the football dad jokes. Oh, God. I've just seen the first one. Overlap on the left. It's actually fairly fortunate to work out. Oh, it's onside comfortably. Porro's arriving late. Yamal holds at the back post. Porro takes the space. And that, yes, probably is game over. Just before the hydration break as well. Austria are going to have to go for it, and then this could become quite ugly late on, couldn't it? Well, at least it'll give us a little bit of time to talk about the later games, with this one potentially not having much on it. Although we did all say this about Senegal Belgium yesterday, didn't we? And it all went wrong at the end of that one. But Pedro Porro only scored against us. Here you go. A couple of crackers on this page, Harvey. 2 flies were playing football in a saucer. One said to the other, "We'll have to do better than this. We're playing in the cup next week." Get it? Because saucer cup, yeah. Only really bad teams then, Rob. Brilliant. Second one. What happened when a herd of cows had a football match? I'm sure, do you know what? You can all work this one out. What happened when a herd of cows had a football match? You can all do this. Let's say it together. Who wants to do the punchline? No, Harvey, you've got it wrong. That would work as well, though, wouldn't it? 10 seconds for someone else to work out a punt. Hydration break has begun. Will give me adequate time to run for a wee in a minute. All right, here you go. What happened when a herd of cows had a football match? There was utter chaos. Yes, there was. And finally, welcome in, MT. Good to have you here. What can a footballer never make right? What can a footballer never make right? His left foot. Yeah, that's enough of them for one day. Hope you're all enjoying the game. It's been a pretty good one, this, it must be said. Austria have been competitive at times, but they've not really looked like scoring since the first 5 or 6 minutes. And Spain, to be fair, that second goal was really well worked. You could argue they were unfortunate with the disallowed one. Could have been 3. But well worked. You like the last one, Harvey? There you go. Someone has to, eh? I'm sure you and Jumbo are in on it. You're definitely contributors to this book, the two of you. Oh, MT, it was one of these. We've got this random little book, and on for the viewers watching on Twitch, it's a channel reward to ask for one of the jokes, which we just had. And the wait for a joke goes on, as Steve rightly says. Right, I'm going to quickly run to the toilet. Give me 1 minute, and I'll be back. And we've made it back just in time for the US adverts to end at the end of the hydration break. Mikel Merino is on for Spain. And FIFA's Perv Cam is back in full force. Heard the company that made Jenga has collapsed. Oh, Harvey. Do you tell these? You know when you start to come under pressure in a match? And you're getting a bit of pressure from the skippers. Is this your 5-minute routine to get them back on board? Ferran Torres, the other man to come on. Austria starting to get a little frustrated, giving away some silly fouls. And obviously Spain are more than happy to take it with a bit of gamesmanship. It should be, but not sure it would work. You didn't have any commercials, Steve. What's going on? And why were we waiting for 20 seconds? Should we do a quick couple of votes for the evening as well? Who do we think is going to win in the chat? Portugal or Croatia, and then Switzerland or Algeria? Who are your 2 winners from tonight's games? Is Spain breaking down the left again? Chance to get the cross in, a poor touch. Not this time. That's interesting. I do still, although Portugal haven't been great in this tournament, I do still think they may edge past Croatia, who struggled, let's be honest, in most of the group stage. And do look a little over the hill, but Portugal haven't been 100% brilliant. They do seem to find a way to bumble through, though. Switzerland, Algeria, it's a tough one. Algeria aren't quite what they were, but they did finish above Austria in the group, didn't they? And then Switzerland are always solid. I think if I had to edge so far, I'd go on Portugal and Switzerland. But I don't think either game would be a monster shock if the 2 sides went out. And then we've got to look forward to Australia or Egypt tomorrow, which I don't know why I'm really excited about it. Maybe it's just because it's Friday night. I'll have finished work and know I can relax for the weekend. I don't know. Harvey, I saw a woman on a bike and shouted cow. She told me to go away and not to be rude. Then she hit a cow. Oh, God. I feel really bad for laughing at that. I must be tired. It's mid-afternoon, so not exactly prime time. No, fair enough. I mean, there'd still be ads over here if it was mid-afternoon, wouldn't there? I am surprised with ITV that they didn't take the opportunity. I thought it might be a moneymaker for them, but I guess they'd never be forgiven if they did. It's the first time in 30 years Spain have scored twice in a knockout game in a World Cup. Really? I'm trying to think back to 2010. Let's have a look. Because 2010 actually ended up being a tournament that was quite famous for not having that many goals, wasn't it? Certainly towards the end. They only won one in the final in extra time, didn't they? 2010 FIFA World Cup. Because it was only really the last one. And this one so far, where it's been a lot more aggressive. I remember watching a thriller in 2014 between, I think it was Nigeria and Bosnia. Like 3-3 or something. It was a great game of football. One of those that was 11 o'clock at night as well. So yeah, every single game was 1-0 in the knockouts in 2010, wasn't it? 1-0 Portugal, 1-0 Paraguay, 1-0 Germany, and then extra time against the Netherlands. We got a bit of handbags here. Spain doing exactly what they want. They give away a foul against counter-attack, then they slow the game down, wind people up. This is the master of the arts. They've been so good at it for years. Busquets, Ramos, etc., and they've passed it on. When they need to turn to this style of play, they're very good at that as well. Sounds wrong, but 2010 was poor, I suppose. I remember... let's get it out, in fact. Total goals at World Cups. Obviously, this one's had more games, so it's going to be hard to compare. But if we go back... So, yeah, so it was an outlier, to be fair. Japan, Korea was 161. Go back to that. France 98 was 171. So two high ones there. Germany in 06 was 147. South Africa 143, the lowest in the 21st century. 171 in Brazil, 169 in Russia, 172 in Qatar. Yeah, Germany 4-2, England was 2010. I wonder why that was the first game into your mind, Liam, eh? Yeah, 2010 was statistically the lowest scoring World Cup in this century. And that and the Germany one are big outliers, literally 25, 30 goals behind the rest. And then ironically, the lowest one prior was Italia 90. No, I said all of Spain's knockout games were 1-0, Liam. They won 1-0 in all four of them. This isn't a joke, although it always sounds one. Have you heard about Danny Murphy's cat? Yes. I haven't heard the update tonight. Someone said that he's talking about his cat again in the chat, but I haven't heard the updated commentary. But I don't mind Danny Murphy. There's far more offensive ones on there. But I did mention earlier with Jake that he's probably more of a pundit than he is a co-commentator. And that's it. Spain was the original bit. Yeah, in terms of World Cups, no doubt that South Africa was the worst. I hope there's a good update on the Danny Murphy cat story, because it was top class, wasn't it? Do you know what it reminded me of? Genuinely, Harvey, it reminded me of TMS, Test cricket. Sorry, Macca and all the other Scots that are no longer listening, but TMS Test cricket, they always go on random tangents, like where you've got the minute between overs and that. It just reminded me like one of those. Maybe he'll get a guest appearance on there. That's what he was aiming for. Bit of Ash's work next summer when there's no tournament. No, it's just Danny Murphy just went off on a random tangent about his cat getting lost in a Royal Mail van in one of the commentary games yesterday. It was bizarre. He got it back 6-7 weeks later, typical Royal Mail delivery time. It turned feral, so couldn't keep it, so he gave it to his sister-in-law. Oh, man. I look forward to hearing it. Because I imagine the delivery was all that mattered, wasn't it, for him? TMS legendary for tangents. Ah, yeah. I mean, even if you don't like cricket, just sitting and listening to TMS, I always, even when it wasn't England games, I used to have it on in the background when I was working, like during World Cups and things. It's so much fun. There are only three things about the World Cup 2010: the Lampard goal that wasn't, the judo kick in the final. Uh, oh, there you go. Well, the third one would be an odd one for us, but no, the first two are definitely among the moments. I think the other one for us, and Craig always talks about it podcast wise, is the Shabalala goal on the first day. It was a wonderful finish as well. Probably was one of the best goals in the tournament. I don't know if he got voted goal in the end. It's just perfect background noise because you just get the odd random thing that makes you laugh once every half an hour or so. And I guess that's the beauty of brilliant commentary, isn't it? Say you don't have to be a cricket fan to enjoy it. It's probably the biggest compliment you can give. And obviously, like they do certain things to make that work. They've got a comedian on stats. They've got some old players in who have got genuine recency bias. They deliberately mix up the ages and agendas and things to make it more fun. So you get those moments where the young ones haven't got a clue what the old ones are on about, and vice versa. But I have noticed because this summer, obviously, I've had Sky on the cheap and I've been watching. I've still ended up putting TMS on the radio while watching it, and it's been less horrifying than watching it this summer. Best goal of the tournament. Oh, the one that ITV forgot to show. Yeah. Well, we almost had that again yesterday, didn't we? Because we nearly equalised against Congo, and it had cut out. Love that Andrew Cotter has got the Wimbledon final jobs. My favourite sports commentator from the Olympics. I always remember him from Five Live on the golf growing up. He always used to be at the Masters. Because my childhood was basically Five Live in the dining room while playing on FM. Because we had one of the old little block PCs. Used to have that on Radio 5 Live all day. And that was just me every Sunday, basically. It's the only day I wouldn't go out to the park and play football in that, because I'd have played a Sunday League match in the morning, get back, showered, roast dinner, then from 2 o'clock, double Premier League commentary, updates from the golf, the cricket, the tennis, whatever else. 6:06 in the evening when it used to be good. Those were the glory days. Yeah, I think you can tell that he's a genuine sports fan. And more importantly, and I go back to everything, we talked about it with co-commentators and things recently, and the reason that, say, Lee Dixon gets so much stick, unfortunately, is all you want is people that sound like they're delighted to be there. Most people's dream would be to go and watch and see these events in person. These people are getting paid to do it and present the action to you. For them to then not sound like they're enjoying it is almost like the biggest insult to the viewer, isn't it? Or the listener. And I think that's the reason people get so frustrated when you've got people just complaining about what they're watching. I was trying to remember the game. It was was it Japan Sweden? Or it was actually a decent match. I think it was Chris Sutton just saying how poor it was the whole way through. I'm like, it's not a bad game, and you're being paid to go and watch this. People would pay thousands and have paid thousands to be there. Just due to injuries, then. It's advances in technology, isn't it? Previously, if you had a broken jaw, you either risked making it worse or you couldn't play. And now with all these lightweight different things, like they've got the lightweight arm casts as well that people can play in now. It's just miracles of modern technology and science, isn't it? And for those of you that are still following it as well, there is a very fun one coming in the FM save tomorrow over on YouTube. That'll be a laugh. Look at that. Spain, 500 passes completion. Back to the old style today. Yellow card for Austria. They're getting really frustrated. I don't want to say it because of what's happened in the Belgium-Senegal game, but I don't see a route back in this one. Turning into robots, full shield faces soon. What will be the next saga, Harvey? That there was actually a cyborg on the pitch instead of a player. We're calling it there. And the man in the mask has got his yellow card right on cue. I'm in trouble today. I've only done 8,000 steps. Getting a warning, I need to get out. Already got that with Haaland, to be fair. He's not far off, is he? I'm really intrigued to see how that game goes. As again, I don't think it's going to be quite as clear-cut as a lot of people are expecting. You can tell we've been talking about cricket, can't you? Feel the Scots have gone very quiet. Well, to be fair, Ireland have been starring at the moment, hasn't he? Raul Jimenez still wearing his thing because he likes it. Yeah, he sort of said he got used to it, but it is also, he can play without it, but it's been recommended to keep it on for safety, which is fine. I've got no problem with that. And hey, if it's making him play like he has this summer, no one will complain, will they? A Spain breakaway, plenty of spaces opening up now across the box. Brought down, shot off the line, brilliant defending, Danzo. But since Austria have pushed more forward, the Spain are getting more and more chances in the wide areas. Is there a trial, Harvey? How long's the trial for? Let's have a look. CFTV. Let's go and find it. Is it on the FA Wales website, isn't it? Because it's not quite made the Google search rankings yet. Your Mal's getting a few minutes rest. 2 weeks trial. Need to get it by next Sunday, I think it is. Oh, I'll get the 2 week trial, definitely. Let's have a look. I saw the first leg of the Hearts game is behind a paywall, which is a shame. I'm really hoping one of the Thursday nights, whether it's well, there's 3 other teams in Europe as well, aren't there? I'm just hoping one of them will be up to date. There's no app. That's a bit odd. Why would they not have an app? I mean, I guess if it's not going to be an app and it's not available on YouTube, you're ruling out 80 or 90% of the population initially, aren't you? Because I forgot they start next midweek, don't they? Well, the problem is, I guess, Harvey, for next week for the European games, it's a bit different the week after, but next week is the same time as World Cup matches, isn't it? So people are always going to pick the World Cup quarterfinals, but the second legs would be great. Right, let's have a look. I can't find anywhere for the trial. My only 2 options are to pay. Yeah, I can't see a free trial option, or I'm not being offered it from the site. Oh, here we go. I've got it on this page. Get a 14-day free trial by subscribing before the 12th of July. Oh, so that's fine, because that's after the first leg. So I'll do it on the 12th of July, and then I'll get in the second legs. Discount applies automatically when you choose your subscription. No need to enter a voucher code. Nice. You can cancel any time within the settings. So you can watch via web browser, mobile phone or tablet. You can also use Chromecast or AirPlay or Apple TV to watch live broadcasts and videos. No mobile app available at the moment. However, this platform is designed to adapt when viewing the web browser or your phone. Oh, it's a missed trick to not be able to watch it on like Fire Stick or Roku or something like that. That's a real missed opportunity. Yeah, but Harvey, the opening games, the Thursday night, are all at the same time as a World Cup quarterfinal. So, unfortunately, I wouldn't be choosing that. Because Thursday night next week, there's a World Cup quarterfinal at 9, and then Friday's at 8, which we'll be watching here. So, you'd miss those games by default. I think Wednesday's the only day next week where there's not World Cup matches. It's the 1 day break between the 2 rounds. I don't know if any of the other Scottish qualifiers have been confirmed, to be fair. Oh, yeah, of course it's done on purpose for the league games. As Spain break forward again into the box, and it's a lovely finish for 3. Mikel scored again. Look, Austria have had to go for it and leave spaces at the back. And yeah, Jake, look, it's a little bit too easy in the end, isn't it? But 3-0. It was game over a few minutes ago. But if there was any doubt, there's not going to be a Belgium-style heroics in this one. There it is. I mean, I've gone early here. VAR might have a look. It looked close, but maybe in the second half of this one, we've just seen Spain arrive. He loves it. Why has he never left Sociedad? Maybe he loves that too, eh? Suits his styles at the ball. Oh, he's miles on sides. A brilliant cross from Cucurella. I know he didn't have his best year at Chelsea and he didn't help himself with some of his quotes. And to be fair, he slipped a bit there, got lucky. For me, he's still probably about the best left-back going at the world at the moment. Questionable character, but wonderful footballer. And it's on a plate. And this time the finish is into the corner. No, it wasn't close to being offside. My eyes deceived me on the first time. Harvey, that's Anthony Gordon, isn't it? Because they're going to put Ferran Torres through the middle for most of it and have Gordon off the left. Let's have a look. I don't think there's any confirmation for the other ones. The same as I was looking at a trial for Premier Sports for the League Cup group stage in Scotland, because obviously the first weekend's a write-off, but after that, the second weekend, it'd be nice to have a game. No clue how he's gone there. Oh, he's a good player, to be fair. And obviously he showed his impact last night. It's a strange move. I thought they would have stuck with Rashford after last year, but again, from a financial point of view, are they thinking someone that in 2 or 3 years they can make probably 2/3 of their money back to sell to England? Probably wants less of a wage than Rashford. I guess Barca, given their financial restrictions, have to think of that as well. Yeah, just having a look. It's only Sturm Graz v Hearts that have been confirmed so far for the second qualifying round. It is quite a nice thing to see more players going from British football abroad. We've obviously seen a few of the Scots starring in Serie A in recent years. We've started to see some stars in the Bundesliga, obviously Sancho and Bellingham over recent seasons as examples. Michael Mancienne was always the original, remember him? Over at Hamburg. And obviously I know Real Madrid had some Galacticos before, but to start to see a few go over to like Spain and the Netherlands and France regularly, it's really cool. Good ball in from Austria to the back post. Keeper claims it well. No room for Calamity Dave in this squad. Or the team, sorry. Simon does really well with that. 4 minutes of added on time remaining. We've played nearly 2. And lots of frustrated fouls coming out. They've just run out of puff, Austria. And they're getting a run around now as they've opened up. Thank you everyone who stuck with us as well, both YouTube and Twitch. Do appreciate it. Reminder, we are back at 7 p.m. tomorrow for Australia, Egypt, UK time, that is. A game I'm really looking forward to. Then the usual Sunday morning chat. And then Monday and Tuesday watch-alongs from the round of 16. For me, Gordon needs to start against Mexico. It's a weird one, isn't it, Waterford? Because whichever one has started in this tournament so far has generally played pretty poorly. Rashford's impact and goal came off the bench. Gordon made the impact off the bench last time. It's been a bit of a bizarre tournament on that front. I do think the next game it will probably be Gordon and Saka that start. I feel Gordon is an option that will be needed to stretch the game in Mexico because there are going to be more times where we come under pressure. Really looking forward to going on Cardiff on Saturday for the rugby. Can I tick it off for the 92 even if it's rugby? I don't know about that. That's a dubious one. I mean, obviously there are people who are far stricter than me on the 92. And Macca up in Scotland with a 42 does it unless he's watched Sterling there. And I know a lot of people do that in England too. For me, I would say you have to watch football there of some form. But Because my argument was I played on the pitch a whole tournament of Swindon, but I wasn't allowed to count it because I haven't watched a game there. So I don't know if you can tick off seeing another sport there. I'm surprised you've not been to Cardiff's ground. It's the only one in Wales I have done. I feel like what separates the best with the good teams is the quality they can bring off the bench. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Jambo. The quality off the bench and therefore the freshness they can have at the end of the game, which is why we're seeing a lot of games that are competitive for 60 and then 2 or 3 late goals. Done the Principality, but not CCS. Fair enough. So I've done the Cardiff City Stadium, but I've still got Swansea, Newport, and Wrexham to do. But then I guess, given that Christian Fuchs has walked on Newport at the start of pre-season, that maybe they'll go next year, which would be a shame for them, but would really help my 92 course. If you were a sub, does that count as watching the game? That's an interesting question, isn't it, Jake? I would say yes. But only, I guess, if you're a sub in a professional or a competitive game. Now, I don't think if I'm playing in a kids tournament and I had a bloody brilliant performance, by the way. But yeah, I don't think you can count it. But I'm going in September, hopefully, so I'll tick it off at that point. Done Swansea, needs to do Newport. Nice. Swansea's one I've got to get done in the next season or two, really. If you played in a game, does it count? Oh, that's an interesting question. I think if you've played in or been a sub in a competitive game, surely you can count it. I mean, to be honest, it's whatever you want it to be, isn't it? Because by 92 rules, I wouldn't have done it because I've seen a Women's Euros game at one. I've seen an Olympics game at one. I've seen Birmingham play at Coventry City. You know, so some people say you've got to have seen your team there. Some people say you've got to have seen the team that's meant to be at home there play there. You know, there's all sorts of things, but you do what you want. How about if I ref in it? I think you can count that, Harvey. You can do your whole new list on refereeing, can't you? 20 seconds to go. This is a formality now. Austria not really trying to score. Spain not really trying to get the ball back. Both teams just waiting for the whistle. It's ended up being a comfortable night for Spain. They never really looked under threat after the first 5 minutes. The 92 crowd have always been weird, to be honest. Do your own thing. Exactly. You've seen a football game at 92 grounds. You deserve the credit, not random abuse for not having seen a certain team or whatever there. I do have a vague one for grounds I've refed at. Oh, do you? How many are you on? Yeah, North Wales, of course. How many have you done? That's an interesting one. Lots of celebrations for Spain. Brits across the board. Mark Hughes will be in there if it's Brits. If you're including women's, both Bronze and Walsh. I'm trying to think, how many more would there have been? Mark Hughes, I can think of. Obviously, Gordon, Lineker, and Rashford. How many more have I got after that? Only man, one more. Hughes is right. I wouldn't get the other one, I don't think. I've done all tier 1 bar Carnarvon and tier 2 bar Holyhead in the north. About half of the 2 in tier 3. Nice. No, I wouldn't get the other one. There you go, Steve. Steve Archibald. Before my time, I can say with that one. The end for Austria and Ralph Rangnick. I do think Thomas Hitzelsberger's a good pundit. A couple of times I've been watching games where I can have the audio on. he seemed to actually be relatively knowledgeable, which maybe stands out a little bit more these days. Well, I think we are just about ready to leave it there. It's 10 p.m, so I better let you all go and enjoy your evening. Let's go and find someone to raid before we polish off. Thank you very much for being in. I've really enjoyed it as always. You make these games so much more enjoyable just to have a bit of a chat and a bit of fun. Definitely my era, Steve. I will say nothing to add to that. Is there anyone live we're following? I tell you what, Scottish Jambo is live, not to be confused with the Jambo in here regularly. Hitzelsberger did sign for Villa Young here. I don't know where he was before on that. Jambo, we're going over to Scottish Jambo. He's playing a game called Mecha Chameleon, which is really fun, where you have to find a hiding spot and paint yourself and whatever. I love watching videos on it, but we're going to go over there and say hello. I don't know if he's still playing or whatever, but we'll go over. Thank you very much for being here. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the overnight games if you're doing the night shift. Steve, I'm sure it's just the afternoon shift for you. And we'll see you back here at 7 p.m. tomorrow for a bit of fun. Have a good one, and I'll see you there.